or
Oh, yeah, we can move that mic a little bit closer. But we're having technical problems right off the bat. Oh, man. Oh, we're here with another host. Festival in Trinidad called what a combination.
Sure.
Well, definitely. Hello. Yeah, on the net. Yeah, and there we go. We're back. Oh my god! I think it's going to be this. At least the house record everything. So yeah, those at home will probably be yeah, cycling black, to video and then to black again. So excited. Yeah. Anthony, my girlfriend and I, we saw you years ago at a lake house show that was put together by Terry Barton Gregg, and yeah.
I mean, I still hard compliments.
Oh,
so,
okay.
so I don't, I appreciate it. But you know how we are. We are our own worst critics. So
yeah.
I'm just happy people are willing to come see me.
Oh, yeah. I totally understand. Now,
North Carolina. But yeah, I'm from there. I moved to Denver like 7 years ago in 3 days. And comedy, if I would have had it my way, I'd have started when I was like 12. My dad got me in.
Oh, wow.
My dad, much to my mom's anger and dismay, he used to always sneak comedy albums to me, and so I'm like 6 years old, listening to Richard Pryor, and all that, and and then I saw series, and I was like 7 or 8 or something, and way too young to be watching this, but yeah, I've been wanting to do it since, and if it wasn't for my buddy Maurice Hamilton, I started because I started on my 18th birthday because I lost a bet to my
no.
Yeah, I'm a major Tampa Bay fan, and he's a Carolina Panther fan, and they beat. Or I can't remember what happened, how I lost the bet. I just know it was on football. And if I would have won, I think I would have got $300. but because I lost, I had to do whatever he needed. I mean, it was Reese, so I knew he'd do anything. And yeah, on my birthday, he took me out today, celebrate. Because he was older than me. He was like, and yeah. He opened the door and he made the crowd. I had to perform at my birthday party. And I was actually did well. I've been talking about it for her. I've been writing jokes. Is way worse than the first one.
No.
Way worse. Usually because you have friends there or family there or people know you.
Really supportive.
Yeah, and then your second time, it's usually nothing. And nobody gives a shit about you. And you do awful your second time. My second time was the worst thing ever.
But the second time, more.
Well, and also,
anything, it's an art form, it's a craft. You got to really work on your material. Where does a lot of your inspiration and material come from, do you think?
Oh, life. I mainly only talk about little stupid things that's happened. Like right now, everybody goes through phases in comedy, and it'll be more of figure out how to make this little thing as funny as possible,
right?
Instead of this big grandiose story, this incredible thing that and it's people are. I think I don't know. I'm starting to get to the point where I think the more believable it is, even though it's a ridiculous thing.
Yeah,
like people gravitate to it more, or whatever. I don't know, but I don't know. Just try to make the stupidest thing the funniest thing possible. And just little stuff nobody thinks about. Just trying to be unique as possible.
Yeah, a little.
I'm only talking about the dumbest thing possible.
Well, and it's usually like that stuff that's relatable too, right?
Yeah. because everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I like that when I see somebody react, be I thought that too. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that. But I always like that.
Oh, that's so cool. The after that second appearance, what did you go back and retool?
Everything. Like I even changed. I was got to be
Oh no!
I like really tried because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
And Red Fox was more of a one. People think that, but yeah, he was more of a one-liner comic, and I really liked that. I liked how fast he come off, and I was a big Rodney Dangerfield fan too. So it was like, man, like I could do that. I can rip them off. After that second time, even I was like, this is stupid. Like this ain't me. I can't do this. And it was mainly because it was too much to remember. Like God bless those one-liner comics that are good at it. Like Zach Reinert's here. And yeah, he's one of those. See how he can remember all of that. And I know it sounds weird because we're both doing like 45 minutes, stuff like that. But the amount of jokes he has to tell in 45 minutes is insane. It's like absolutely insane. I think last time I asked him, he said like a 30-minute set is like 170 something jokes or something stupid like that. And there's no way I'd be able to remember all that. Oh, but he said the same thing about me because I tell a lot of stories. Yeah. And he's like, there's no way I could remember a story. Yeah. Like, what? All that shit. Okay. Fair enough. I guess our brains just work differently. Yeah. But I can.
Yeah. Well, like that. Memorizing those one-liners kind of reminds me of like punk rock, where you've got like simple lyrics, it's quick, even to some extent like some rap lyrics are also simple and quick, but you're also like belting out so much of it in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and I can imagine that. And that's one of the things that honestly I go off on a tangent here, but
sure.
It's one of the things I really hate about musicians. I respect them. Yeah. Like all they need is one song. And then they're good. They're good forever. We'll just play that one song over and over and over, and y'all will love us forever. The hits. And like a comic can't do that. No. Like if you hear me tell the same joke again, I'm out of business now. Yeah. Who cares? But that's also why I don't envy musicians because you gotta keep playing that hit. Like you have to, or you're gonna disappoint fans. Like I remember when Prince said he was gonna stop doing Purple Rain. Right. Totally understood. Right. But he started doing it again. He started playing it again. His fans couldn't deal with it anymore. And I band that sang Cherry Pie, but
she's my cherry.
Yeah, but they Snake or Warrant. I think it was Warrant. Yeah. But when they were like, we're never doing Cherry Pie again. Yeah. And they were done. They're done.
They're not Prince. No. They don't have this intense, amazing. They just got.
All you got. And you don't want to do it anymore? Well, all right.
Let us know when your hairline grows back.
There with the
or Quiet Riot. I think that was pretty much a trend with a lot of hair metal bands too. The one hit and then that. You just don't have a career. No, I totally agree.
much.
It was pretty. Well, the hair was louder.
Oh God.
It was more ruthless than the music they played.
Guys wore spandex than the women.
Oh, yeah.
And more makeup.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true. Oh my God. But and to that effect, I always love talking to comedians because, outside of, well, you've got all these artists and everything. They've got their crafts, whether it's musicians and actors and filmmakers. But with comedians, you have to live in the society that that you're doing commentary about. Be able to participate in it, and still be on the peripheral to realize the absurdities, the humor in every moment, even in the worst case scenarios.
Yeah, and usually that's the case with comics. Usually, I mean, me, but most comics jokes were usually a really bad thing that happened to them. You know what I mean? Something terrible happened. This was a really shitty day, or something like that. And make it funny. That's the whole comedy equation. Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it's a thing. Like quarantine, I struggled with quarantine real bad, but I got like over an hour of jokes out of it. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I guess I had to go through that, I guess.
Yeah.
But I got like an hour and 20 minutes of new jokes. So
nice.
I guess there's that.
We'll be seeing a bunch of that tonight at Mutiny.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Fantastic.
I will do my damnedest. I have
I can't wait to hear them. Trust me, they can't be any dumber than anything I think from moment to moment.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
I go pretty dark into the stupidity.
Okay.
We go, There's a lot of people don't believe me when I say I just smoke weed. They're like, man, there's got to be some other drugs that made you believe that. Whatever.
It doesn't necessarily need to be. Yeah.
No, I could just have my own problems.
Yeah. So during quarantine, during the pandemic, you've been working on just brand new material.
Yeah, I had to. I don't well with isolation.
Yeah.
And being in an apartment myself for months.
Ooh.
Like howling at 8 o'clock was a thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I just set my for it and feel bad when I missed it. Like it was like that.
We did too.
Dude, it was insane. And then I remember my complex stopped doing it.
Oh.
And I remember being hurt. Like,
oh. Would you get it going? Would you start it?
I tried. I would try, but no, they just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
It just ended.
Yeah.
And it was like the whole complex kind of just made a conscious decision without letting me know, I guess. I don't know. But everybody just stopped doing it. Yeah. And it was bad. But so I had to start doing something, because I was losing my mind and drinking much. I was drinking way too much.
And a lot of people were doing that. They were going back to drinking, smoking, doing a lot of things. I think I read somewhere that childhood favorite cereals just suddenly skyrocketed, like their stock went way up and everything. I was one of them. That lasted for about a week when I realized I was gaining my COVID-19 here. But Elise was nice enough. Hey, get on that fucking treadmill.
she has to deal with it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not the most pleasant thing to look at. Oh, look, you've got 2 belly buttons.
Yeah.
That something's got to burn off. but yeah. Lots of people were dealing with that. It still sounds like you were incredibly productive, and before that too, you also had a podcast where you were interviewing comedians.
Yeah, talking shop.
Nice. Just talking about the craft and
wanted it to be like a little class, because at any point when me and my guest talking, somebody come with Mike and ask the question. Like that's really what I wanted out of all of. That's why I need an audience for.
Yeah.
And I asked him how he got started, blah blah blah, how you go about writing, and there's at least one thing that I really want to know.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of selfish in that, because that's even how I start the podcast. I'm like, this is the most selfish thing I've ever created.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll bring on a guest just to literally ask them one question.
Okay.
And that I need the crowd there because I will not have anything. Like I've learned what I needed. So
yeah.
Anybody else need anybody else got other? And then everybody I have on their comedy world in one way or another, not necessarily comedians. Like I've had venue owners on, I've had promoters on, managers on.
Yeah.
Try to look at every aspect of comedy
from the industry.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like I've even had the owner of Comedy Works on there. I've had the owner of the Oriental Theater, stuff like that. Just try to get everybody different ideas, different opinions, views, and stuff. And comedy, they're not gonna. All comedy classes are doing is just,
right.
And that's how they are.
Right.
And that's why I don't like comedy classes, because not everybody's the same kind of comic.
Right.
So that's why I try to have a wide variety of people that I have on there, from one-liners to dry comics to highly, hyper comics, all that. I try to have a wide range because we're not all the same.
I'd be curious too. What's the experience of like having a really hyperactive comedian, trying to sit in a chair with you?
It's fun actually. It's just hard to wrangle their thoughts.
Right.
Because they're real ADD about stuff, and they'll immediately, trail off to something else. And it's just more wrangling them than anything else. But it's cool. I'd rather have that than the low energy, boring guys.
No, I get it.
Yeah. And I mean, I have them on too.
Yeah.
But still, it's just harder to. Yeah. Now I gotta ramp up.
Yeah, it's like great. Okay, a lot of coffee. Here's some fucking cocaine. Start a habit. The back to that like one question. Per comedian, is it always the same question, or is it like you always have something geared towards the individual?
I do ask all my guests the same 2 questions.
Okay.
But the question I was referring to, it'll be like, for instance, Rodriguez. I had him on. The only reason why I had him on was to ask him how to network.
Oh, okay.
Because he's amazing at networking.
Nice.
All I cared about. Literally all I cared about.
Yeah.
talent. When I had Sam on, that is the only thing I cared about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I cared about.
Yeah.
And I focus. So when I have them on, of course,
Yeah.
but I want the crowd to be pumping, because I found out this was like the second episode I did, which was with Ben Roy.
Oh, cool.
The second episode, I realized that I was talking about stuff that was way more advanced than the crowd wanted. You know, like I'm sitting here with Ben talking about how to not only like break down things, you know, and we're talking about the rule of three and all this, and people are back there like, hey man, so like, what is a punchline? You know, something like that. And I'm like, oh, I was just thinking about me.
Introductory stuff.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I have been doing this 22 years. My bad. All right. For the guys that's been doing this 22 days, this is like, you know, like, feel free to come and ask. And I never, you know, I get, so that's one of the things I had to remember, you know, and had to work on. And that's why I have the crowd mic now.
Nice.
At my podcast.
Oh, okay.
You know, just so whenever they can come up and ask.
Yeah.
Just anything that I just didn't think of. You know.
Well, and that's really good to you know, keep it in like kind of group participation too.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps them hopefully lively.
Yeah.
And
it keeps them involved. And I think I actually have helped some people. That's the main thing, you know.
People have come back to you and said, "Hey,
yeah, man, like, oh man, talking shops. The next one, who you having on?" Nice. I'm like, wow. And these are people in like Minnesota hitting me up and stuff like that, and I'll be like, oh, y'all listen to it? Oh, well, yeah, man, a bunch of us listen to it, and what was it? And it's funny, never even been that town before.
Right.
It was, I think it was St. Paul.
Oh, okay.
So, like, dude, yeah, a bunch of the comics here listen to it. And I was like, so should I like go there? Like, should I guess I should like.
Really?
Yeah. I never even imagined that would happen from it. But I have my goals for Talking Shop. My platinum goal seems like it's far-fetched, but I still think it's possible. But I just want the Sunday morning spot on Comedy Central.
Yes.
You know, and have it filmed at like Comedy Works.
Oh.
You know, and I would love that if I could pull that off. It's far-fetched right now. I got to blow up a little bit more before I can pull it off. Well, but it's still something I really want.
I think you've got tools in that bag to do it, to pull it off.
Yeah.
You've talked about networking with, was it David Rodriguez? You know, yeah.
I've also had Wendy Curtis, the owner, on like 3 times.
Oh, great.
And I can't wait to start doing it again. It was I used to call it the town hall meeting.
Yeah.
Basically, and Wendy's dope. Like, Wendy does not care what you ask her. Okay. And she will give you a legit, real answer.
Nice.
And you might not,
straightforward.
Yeah, you might not like it.
Right.
But there's been times where I just looked at it and went,
oh shit.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I was like, damn. And yeah, but she's dope, man. And she'll open up, and I think she actually told us some things that she wasn't supposed to.
Oh yeah.
And we were just like, oh, okay. Well,
take note of that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So Chappelle's coming soon. All right.
Nice.
And she'll be like, I didn't mean to say. Yeah, you did though. So cool. Chappelle's coming. You know, shit like that. But yeah, she I think it was the second episode I had her on. She let it slip that there's a comedy Illuminati. And it's real and exists. And I was just like,
are you talking like sex parties?
No. It's literally a group of like 12 people, and they meet every year.
Okay.
And they talk about which direction comedy is going to go.
Wow.
And yeah, and they are the people that make it happen. And Wendy's one of them, the owner of the Helium Comedy Clubs, the owner of Live Nation, the owner of, uh, I want to say like a CEO of Comedy Central and shit.
Okay.
Like it's like big people.
Jeez.
And it's like, oh, so we can't piss any of you off or we're done. And she was like, yeah, we can kill your career.
Wow.
It was just like, well,
all right.
So we're friends.
Do you have enough wine?
So we're cool. And she had this was like, and it's funny, I really didn't think she was going to let me do it. I didn't think she was going to agree to it. The last time I had her on was right after the TJ Miller thing.
Oh, right.
And she had booked TJ to do the club, even put extra shows on because he sold everything out.
Okay.
And people protested. Some female comics protested.
Okay.
Which totally understand.
Yeah.
She banned all of them. She banned all of them.
Oh my God.
And they showed up. They showed up to the podcast. And I told them, I was like, dude, she's gonna be here. If you really want to talk about it, you probably should come here.
Yeah.
And I thought Wendy was gonna shy away from it.
Mm-hmm.
She opened up it.
Wow.
she was like, Anthony, thank you so much for having me on. Okay, TJ Miller. And I was just like,
wow.
I'm like, all right, speak your heart. And
well, and you know, with comedy, you know, even as an industry and such, I mean, it sounds like you got to speak the truth.
You have to. If you don't, you'll either get taken advantage of or not cared about.
Right.
Does that to be? I mean, and don't get me wrong. There's some comics that just live in a fantasy world,
right?
You know, but those are few and far between.
Right.
Like I was really trying to think of one just now, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, people stop caring the more unrealistic it is.
Yeah. Well, if it's not like sprinkled with at least layers of truth,
some kind of truth.
You know, it's tough to really convey and reach an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the other thing too, I keep thinking about with like stand up is it's just you up there. You're stripped down. You're sharing your heart. It's and as you were saying too, like earlier, talking about like the worst day in your life and making it funny to share with the audience. It's a little bit of therapy, but there's also like that audience participation where they're giving you energy by laughing, or you got the occasional heckler and stuff like that.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. How do you deal with that type of energy?
Hecklers, I am pretty good at not having them.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird. I don't know what it is about my persona or my voice or whatever. It seems like people are afraid to heckle me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm gonna bury them or roast them to death or something. And yeah, I don't really deal, especially since I left the South.
Okay.
I just honestly don't get hecklers that much. Talkers.
Oh, really?
Like people. Excuse me.
Oh, no problem. That was really quick. I didn't even notice that. I was just like, I heard it. Megan was like, Jesus Christ. So you're from the Justice League. I love you as the Flash. I didn't even.
But it was a bottle cap that was in the sole of my shoe.
Yeah,
it was bugging me.
It's like, no, fuck you, bottle cap. You die. 'Twas a glorious death.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, we were talking about hecklers and how you haven't really gotten too much of that.
Yeah,
some talkers.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at shutting that down. Because one thing I unconsciously make sure the crowd understands is you're not going to be louder than me.
Right.
You're not going talk
No.
over me,
No.
and I don't. And like my favorite thing to do, especially with hecklers, is just ignore them.
Okay.
Because the more attention you give them, the more power you give them.
That's true.
And so I just literally just don't even look at them,
Yeah.
and eventually they shut up. If they don't, then I gotta eat their heart real quick. I gotta abuse them verbally.
Yeah.
But I try not to do that. I just try not to give them too much time, energy, or attention, and usually goes away. I treat them like a kid.
Yeah. Well, they're acting like a child.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, this. Yeah, you came here to see me deliver the jokes. If you don't like it, fucking leave.
Then leave. Yeah. I have no problem with you leaving.
Yeah.
I don't need you here.
Yeah. I've got the rest of my support.
Yeah. And those are the worst. Those are the ones that are like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
You're the only one not laughing. If you don't like it, you can go.
Yeah.
Everybody else is having a good
night. It's been a few years, and so I vaguely, remember your set, but I remember the energy. You came out, and it was just like fluidity. I think the other comics before you, they had a kind of a rigid material of of varying degrees, but it just flowed with you, and we're just like, holy fuck, this guy's practically dancing. So what does it feel like on stage when you get into like a rhythm? Does it,
It's usually the reason why I'm laughing on stage. Because I laugh at myself a lot on stage.
I remember that. Yeah.
Usually what I'm laughing at is somebody's reaction in the crowd, or the fact that I know this joke is about to fuck everybody up. Okay. I can see it, like, y'all like that one?
Guess what?
Y'all are about to lose it. And it's fun. It's fun. I try to, I don't know. I try to work my set out to where people love, but I also hate it because I don't realize. I like it look easy, but 4 hours, 4 in a year.
Well, and, you know, responses to a lot of the to give a reaction on that.
Is
But you're writing all your own stuff. Thing that a lot of young communities craft
home. Instagram, TikTok, home.
I thought the thing is, and the town with the rest of we can't wait to get 8:15. Guess that they're doing is like 10. Okay. You know, everybody, I don't know at this
Watching it in
point.
spurts.
The funny thing is